Have you ever imagined a man commanding the sun and the moon? A man commanded sun and moon to stop in their places, and they stopped. This historic moment happened on October 30th, 1207 BCE, exactly 3,224 years ago according to scientists. In the biblical tales there stands Joshua, a figure of immense courage and faith. Among his feats one stands out, the day he halted the sun and moon in their tracks. It's a story that echoes through the ages, a testament to Joshua's extraordinary faith and the belief in a power greater than himself. But what led Joshua to this remarkable moment? What gave him the courage to command the heavens in such a bold way? Let's delve deeper into the events leading up to this historic moment when Joshua commanded the sun and moon to stand still. After 40 years of wandering in the desert, the Israelites are finally ready to take their position in the Promised Land as God promised to them. But many people already occupied the land and living there. Canaanites, Jebusites, Hittites, Amorites. In the leadership of Joshua, the Israelites have crossed the Jordan River and are beginning their conquest. Meanwhile, the Canaanite kings, knowing of the Israelites' approach, are gathering their armies to oppose them. And when the inhabitants of neighboring city of Gibeon heard how Joshua had totally destroyed Jericho and Ai, they came and made peace with Joshua and united with the people of Israel. Among the Canaanite rulers stood Adoni-Zedek, the king of Jerusalem, a city of strategic importance in the region. When he heard Gibeon made an alliance with Joshua, he even more frightened. Because Gibeon was an important city like one of the royal cities, it was larger than Ai, and its men were good fighters. Then the king of Jerusalem manages to form an alliance with the kings of Hebron, Jarmuth, Lachish, and Eglon to be able to stand up to those of Israel. Meanwhile, in the camp of the Israelites, Joshua was strategizing with his commanders, aware of the powerful enemy on the other side. The Israelite army, though strong and determined, was outnumbered by the combined forces of the Canaanite kings. Nevertheless, Joshua remained resolute, his faith unwavering in the God who had promised them victory. The Israelites cannot even think of taking chance on this battle. They have to win the battle anyway. It is very important for them to win because, after wandering 40 years in the desert, it is final step for them in conquering the Promised Land as the God promised to their forefathers. The defeat of the Amorites in this battle would have allowed the Israelites to expand their territory further into Canaan, fulfilling God's promise to give them the land. And one more reason is, the city of Gibeon, whose inhabitants had made a peace treaty with the Israelites, was under threat by a coalition of Amorite kings. If the Amorites succeeded in conquering Gibeon, it would have been a significant setback for the Israelites strategically and politically. It was crucial for the Israelites to defend their allies and maintain their foothold in the region. As the day progressed, the two armies clashed on the battlefield, the clash of swords and the shouts of warriors echoing across the land. The Israelites fought valiantly, but as the sun began its descent toward the horizon, Joshua realized that they needed more time to secure a decisive victory because the army they are fighting was large. Turning to the heavens, Joshua raised his voice in prayer, calling upon the God of Israel for assistance. With fervent faith, he made an extraordinary request to command the sun and moon to stand still, prolonging the day and granting the Israelites the time they needed to achieve victory. And Joshua said in the sight of Israel, "Sun, stand thou still upon Gibeon, and thou, moon, in the valley of Ajalon." And the sun stood still, and the moon stayed, until the people had avenged themselves upon their enemies. The Israelites pressed on with renewed vigor, striking down their enemies with unmatched determination. So the sun stood still in the midst of heaven, and hasted not to go down about a whole day. And there was no day like that before it or after it, that the Lord hearkened unto the voice of a man, for the Lord fought for Israel. Now what made Joshua do this and where he got the courage? It's a combination of faith, determination, and his belief in God's power. Joshua was a strong leader who had witnessed the miraculous deeds of God, including the parting of the Red Sea during the time of Moses. He had faith that God was with him, and that God could intervene in the natural order of things to fulfill his purposes. Joshua's courage came from his trust in God and his sense of responsibility as a leader of his people. He knew that the battle was crucial for the Israelites' survival, and that he needed to act decisively. His faith in God's ability to perform miracles gave him the courage to make such a bold request. So in essence, it was Joshua's unwavering faith in God and his commitment to leading his people that gave him the courage to pray for the sun and moon to stand still. And it was his belief in God's power that led to the miraculous event described in the biblical account. As dusk turned to dawn and the battle raged on, the Israelites emerged triumphant, routing the forces of the Canaanite kings. It was a momentous victory, one that would be remembered for generations to come as a testament to the power of faith and the unwavering commitment of God to his chosen people. Joshua's bold prayer demonstrates the power of faith and prayer. He believed in God's ability to intervene in the natural order of things and trusted that God would answer his request. This teaches us the importance of having faith in God's power and the effectiveness of fervent prayer.